Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Chirping on Causeway. This podcast is brought to you by Boston Sports Entertainment Network. You can find them on Twitter and Instagram and YouTube at BSEN_617. You can find the podcast at Causeway Chirps on Twitter. And my personal Twitter is Fred Frederick. I'm really excited. I have some very special guests that you guys probably all know pretty well. I'm gonna hop on over and let them introduce themselves. You can.
Yo, what's going on, Liv?
How are you?
Good. I'm Brett Howard of the Only Bruins podcast.
Ew,
1/3 of that.
Ever again? I'm Brett Howard. That sounded weird.
It's literally my tag of my name, bro. Like, all right, sorry. This is Hit. Don't call him Hitman Howie here. Sorry, Boosie wants to be known as that. But yeah, doing good, Liv. Thank you for letting us come on the show. I'm excited to recap this horrendous Bruins season and have some fun in the process.
I know. I can't wait to just talk about how this season can be in the past now. Now we can move forward. You know, we finally got as the OB crew, we finally got our last hoorah seeing Morgan Geekie get the 7th player award.
Greatest player to ever play the game.
And
Just want that known.
Hey, he reads everything. Maybe he hears everything too. But
shout out Morgan.
I'm excited for the season to be over and to talk about it and vent about it with you guys.
Yeah.
Bobby.
You know who I am. What's up? How y'all doing?
Whoa!
What's going on, Liv?
You already know what it is.
We did this about a month ago, and it was a blast. So yeah, I do want to send my kudos out to Morgan Geekie. Thanks for making Brett and myself. Brett, don't call him Howie the Hitman, whatever he's nicknamed this week. Thanks for finally making us look smart, because that live stream we did 2 years ago at the free agency and they signed him. And I was like, this is a sick signing. And everyone was like, I don't know who this is. So thank you.
Wow, I don't even remember that.
Unfortunately, my pendulum swung the other way for a little bit this year, but we're back. We're back, baby.
I'm just being petty. I'm so jacked, though. It's awesome. When they played here, I didn't expect to see as many Morgan Geekie jerseys. So it's nice that those folks got to, enjoy their nights.
Well, Brett's going to be getting on once he resigns. So.
Can't wait.
Do we want to hop right into that? You guys think it's like a no-brainer that we'll sign him, or do you think it's going to be a little bit like iffy until, whatever the date is, July 1st or whatnot?
So I'm gonna tread lightly on this one, but shooting at 20%, pretty crazy. Like Ovechkin's career shooting percentage is 13, greatest goal scorer of all time. So there's a couple outliers. Don't love arbitration. He's an RFA. The fact that he's not extended yet tells me that there's a big gap in number, obviously, and we knew that was going to be a problem because Sweeney loves to lowball everybody, and that's why we always think he signs the best extension deals, because people just want to play in Boston, so they're like, screw it, whatever, I'll sign this ticket. But I don't know. I think it's really going to come down to what players do and don't get extended by their own teams and the draft. Sweeney's not going to want to do arbitration again, and I don't know. I don't know if Sweeney wins that arbitration, especially with Geekie getting better every year. So, he deserves to get paid. I just don't know if the Boston Bruins are going to do it or not, because they just walked away from their captain. They've walked away from Jake DeBrusk. They've walked away from Zdeno Chara. They've walked away from Torrey Krug, and those are all because they couldn't meet on contracts. So, Don Sweeney's he's willing to gamble, and we know that. So I think he's deserving of a contract. Don't get me wrong. He's shut me up. He's shut a lot of people up, and good for him. I couldn't be happier for the guy. This is what you want to see from your players and your team, right? And so I hope he extends, but with the Bruins right now, I don't know. It's just so up in the air. I wouldn't be surprised if they're leaving every option open at Geekie at this point.
Yeah, I agree.
I think one of the more famous Anthony, like one of the most famous like lore, I guess I would be the proper term, with Don Sweeney, especially early in his tenure with the Bruins, is he was kind of known for being the GM that had contracts in his on his desk, just sign. I'm getting more and more the feeling with Morkiki, that's the case. I don't think it's a matter of how much he's going to sign for. I think it's done. It's just a matter of getting other business settled first. Because as we saw in the last little stretch with the Bruins, especially with Elias Lindholm centering past Geeky, we kind of saw something there where it's like, okay, you can actually kind of like justify the Lindholm signing now.
Yeah.
At least for next year, the following season, if
Yeah.
that's not like a flash in the pan mirage. Because at the end of the day, Zach fit in perfectly there, but one guy's easier to move than the other. So if you can, you can make the Lindholm contract work. I think you have. With that comes signing Geeky. But even if moving forward, if he only gets 20 goals out of him per season, that's still a success.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At what price though?
Yeah,
That's
like
I mean, you
all
have
the money in the
I
world.
feel like you kind of he's taking Brett's paychecks for the rest of his career. I'll tell you that. But
he's not getting paid.
yeah, I was gonna say.
Here, Margaret, you get to go to Mexico for a week.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you should get ready to learn open pool season, buddy.
I don't know. I feel like once you kept him at the trade deadline, that was a telling sign that he was going to be a Bruin. It's nice that he's an RFA. It works out in Sweeney's favor. It works out in our favor as fans, because you have to imagine the price tag won't get too high. The only, I guess, shitty thing about this is that it could turn into like a 1-year deal again, and then he's a UFA, and then you essentially kind of probably lose him to close to nothing, unless you trade him at next year's trade deadline. But as a Bruins fan, you have to hope that you're not in that position again, and that's thinking way ahead. But it works out that he's an RFA, gives us some hope. And I know Brett brought up the shooting percentage, but maybe Geeky will realize that's only possible when playing alongside Pastrnak, because how many open nets did Geeky have?
Dude, Tyler Bertuzzi is the best example of this.
Yeah.
Tyler Bertuzzi was shooting like 27% playing beside Pastrnak. And bro, I'm glad he got his ticket. He gets to play with Bedard, but like not everybody can do what Pastrnak does. And it just proves like, Elias Lindholm 1C, like you might be able to get away with that because your 1C is David Pastrnak. I don't know. That's just, to me, your 1C going forward in the technical terms of what you need to win a franchise. Your Eichel, your whatever, right? The Eichel's the last one. McKinnon, blah, blah, blah. Just because Pasternak's a winger, like we don't even play positionally. Sometimes Pasternak's playing center out there. So realistically, like if you can get Pastrnak to drive a line, and you keep Geeky, you've kind of put a blanket over a very interesting situation this offseason, and you can go spend money elsewhere, which they desperately need to do, especially veteran-wise. But I don't know, man. I'm just sick of the narrative. I'm sick of the narrative that wingers can't drive lines anymore. Like we've seen it enough. The game's changed. He's been the best player in the NHL since January 1st. So like I have no problem with
2023.
Unfortunately, having Pastrnak drag people through the mud, but how long can he do that for? That's a question down the road. I'll worry about that later.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack with that theory alone.
Yeah.
Like I'll piggyback off what Brett said. Like it's kind of a good problem to have someone like Pastrnak who kind of band-aids the Bruins, open wounds, because that's what Bergeron did for 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the fact that we just kind of slotted, Pasta just kind of got promoted into that position. It's a good problem to have. Because I remember Pasta got Riley Nash paid, right? So.
Yeah.
He's a talented player.
You can go down the list, man. He's done pretty good for other players.
So is Pastrnak to blame for this next Morgan Geeky deal?
See, this is the thing. Like, one thing I was going to bring up when we were talking about qualifying offers, what if Morgan Geeky gets qualifying offer from a team? You know, like there's that as well. And then on top of you're talking about arbitration, like I know for a fact the Bruins wish they could go back and sign that 2-year deal with Swayman. So I wouldn't be shocked if you see Geeky sign a 1 year, just a bit over his qualifying offer, like a $4.55 million deal, prove it deal, because you think they would learn from their mistake of letting Jake DeBrusk go, seeing how he's performed on a Vancouver team that's really struggled, and maybe all we asked is like, all right, like the problem's different because Jake DeBrusk wanted a long-term ticket, but say he wanted a 1-year deal, I would have signed that 100% to see what he could have done, and if he had approved it this year, he would have got his long-term ticket. But with the cap going up, complicates things. People want security, life-changing money, like all of those things come into play. So it's a business. Morgan Geeky talked about it last night with Gail in her presser, or not her presser, his presser, but she was asking most of the questions. And he talked about it. He's like, it's a business. We all just tried to cherish these last games together because, like, I think that these players know, like, this could be a completely different team coming into next year, including Morgan Geeky, including unfortunately, Pavel Zacha, including, name whatever role plays, Johnny Beecher, the list goes on, right? So I don't know. It's going to be very interesting. This is one of the more exciting off seasons. I was saying to the fellas the other day, like, man, it's crazy that our season's not even ending right now. Like, our technically podcast season would be like, if the Bruins lost out in the first round, it's over for a couple weeks. We just kind of putter around, and then draft, free agent signing, blah blah. Take a little bit of a break in August. Right until August, this is just going to be talking about Bruins all the time. And everybody that sees me with the Bruins merch on, they just want to talk Bruins. And that's even up here in Canada. So that part of it's exciting. I wish we didn't have the year we had for that to happen, obviously. But this retool's been in the works for a couple of years now, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it was kind of like inevitable after they blew it up, 2 years ago when they lost in that first round. It was kind of like, okay, now we're gonna. I think that this has been said a lot too, but I do think this year is kind of what everyone thought we were gonna have last year, and so it was just a little bit delayed.
Yeah.
So hope kind of stayed alive, thinking like, oh, maybe we'll sneak out of this and be okay. And obviously now it's like,
But did you expect them to be this bad this year? I know, it's a little, weighted the other way because we sold at the trade deadline. But I mean, even leading up to the trade deadline, I don't think we expected to be that much. I thought if anything, we'd be like soft sellers. I didn't think we'd just hard sell everything and just let go of Carlo. And I mean, sorry to say this, but it seemed like the writing was on the wall halfway through the season that Frederick was going to be gone. It just seemed like neither side saw eye to eye. And then, I mean, Martian and Carlo going, that was the biggest surprise of them all, of course. And I don't know. It's just once you saw those two trades go down, it's like, wow, like what are we actually expecting for not just the rest of this season, but next season? And I really think the Bruins are focusing in on where the projected salary cap is supposed to go up, not just this year, but the following year. Yeah. I think they're banking heavy on that. But again, I mean, I think next year is Sweeney's last year of his deal. Can he be, if he wants another contract, can he be a seller at the trade deadline again? And what pieces is he even going to have to sell off? Because he's going to have to sign some free agents. You got some young kids coming up. And do you want to trade away your young kids? Because that's cheap money. That's supposed to be your core right there. And I have to imagine that you're not going to look at Lysell being a trade piece next year because you kind of have to keep him. Yeah. You've been patient with him in a sense. I mean, or he's been patient with you, whichever way you want to look at it.
He's been patient with them. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah. And
I'm a Lysell truther through and through, baby.
Oh, I know. I mean, you got to imagine he makes a big club. Merkulov's probably gone. I know he's an RFA, but I have to imagine I don't know.
It seems like they're slotting pieces. It seems like they're slotting Minton in 3C next year from everything that they're saying and the way they speak about this kid off the ice. Kind of seems like they're thinking he's going to make this jump next year. So you're going to have a very young bottom six. It's gonna be very
So
interesting.
Speaking of bottom six, because I saw Zebo's question earlier, and do you think Beecher's possibly gone and Cole Koepke is here to stay?
I hope not. God.
Yeah.
Having Cole Koepke on the second power play unit the other night, I was like, bro, what are we doing here? Come on now. Let's go. But
like I know he had a career high, but a lot of those goals came from early on in the season. I think it had to have been at least 6 of them. When he had the best fourth line in hockey, and everything felt good again. And
you were hot there at the beginning.
Yeah.
I'd rather Beecher's penalty killing and athleticism.
Speed.
Yeah. Koepke's just too like stiff for me.
He's going to be cheaper.
I kind of think his forechecking sucks, if I'm just gonna be honest. Like, he shies away from hits and plays he should make as a fourth liner.
The ceiling is way higher for Beecher for what.
Oh yeah, and plus you could get Beecher's qualifying offer is probably like $900K. Koepke is probably gonna want a little bit of a raise.
Yeah, I mean, well deserved. He got double digit goals. So
yeah, no, definitely. I just not here,
baby.
You know who I am excited about though, and I'm gonna butcher his name. I don't know how to say it.
Husnadinov?
Yeah.
Husnadinov?
I liked we got him in that little exchange for Braz.
I want him to spend the offseason in Boston. I think he could be something.
He's young, so I think he has a little tougher side to him that we haven't really seen yet, but I think it could be, I don't know. I think he's smart with it, and I think he could do well here.
Especially being 22 years old and being defensively responsible in the NHL. Like, he played on Michkov's line in the KHL and was one of their leading scorers. He's just got to find the transition to that in the NHL. And some guys don't get it. Like you see Merkulov, he comes up 10 games. It's what have you done for me recently? We don't care about the AHL up here. So I don't know. Like, I want to see Husnadinov stay because this is probably sacrilegious, but we traded him away. He's got 50 Shades of Marchand in him. The way he protects the puck, the way he gets in on board battles, his hockey IQ, like the fact that he saw, if you see the overhead video of his goal last night, he saw Lysell gunning down Dylan and was like, oh, fuck defense. I'm going for this. And he put himself in a position to score. When have we seen that this year? Including from veterans who have played 70 games a year. Like, come on, man. That's exciting. That's what I was like, that was a World Juniors goal right there. Like, I was hyped, dude. Like, that, inject more of that into my lineup.
Yeah. I really liked that, honestly.
Just put his head down, booked it to the net. And, Kostelik's the only guy that goes to the net on our team. And I stand by that statement.
Yeah. Which
so nice to see.
I'll be excited for Kaslik to come back.
Glad they shut him down. Two conkies back to back. You never want that.
Boy. Yeah. It was smart. I was worried they were going to rush both them back just to play 2, 3, 4 pointless games at the end of the season, and then probably ruin our draft stock. I think.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys know off the top of your head if the Kraken or
Philly's got to lose tonight in regulation.
Does Seattle have to as well?
No,
because I don't know where the tiebreaker goes there.
That doesn't matter. Dude, it's so confusing trying to do it backwards. I was watching What Chaos today, and they were talking about this, and they were trying to do the math, but flip it. And in my head, I was doing the same thing, and I was like, this is so confusing, but essentially it boils down to Philly loses in regulation, we get the 4th pick. If they get a point at all, we get the 5th pick.
Okay.
And that's tomorrow.
At the end of the day, Gary owes us at the end of the day, so
I think we're getting that 2nd overall pick. I've been saying it for weeks. I think we're getting that 2nd overall pick.
You have to think Sweeney and Neely have blackmail on just about everyone, because I'm assuming you saw Jacob's comments or comments today. Or was it Porter who wrote something in the Globe about how
something like that?
He doesn't get why Porter.
Ever since Porter called Winnipeg the grayest city he's ever been to and didn't elaborate on it, I haven't read anything.
I can't read.
I'm like, yeah, buddy. And then I showed up to Boston, only saw the sun for 2 hours, saw maybe a patch of grass once. And I was like, what's this guy calling us a gray city for?
We've seen the sun 4 times since Nam here. I'm not even exaggerating.
Bobby hates anybody that disses Winnipeg, and I stand by it.
It's a Winnipeg thing. It's the Simpsons love us and we love Winnipeg. Come at us, baby.
Have you been to Winnipeg yet, Boozy, or no?
No, I have better things to do, respectfully. But
whoa,
no, I'm kidding. I will say this: the last 2 seasons,
Bobby, just writing your name down. Jesus, dude, be careful.
No. Bobby knows this too. My last 2 seasons, I planned on going to the Bruins Winnipeg game in Winnipeg, but they play in December both years.
Yeah.
The years that's the 1 month I can't do.
Don't know who's doing the schedule, but I hate you.
It's terrible. It's fucking terrible.
December, I usually work 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. every day, and then I get Christmas off, and then I work 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. So I like the fact that I got to take an evening off. Brutal.
That's
the last
terrible.
2 times. Brutal.
9? Oof.
Hey, maybe next year's the year. Maybe all 4 of us, maybe all 3.
I'm going out to Winnipeg this summer.
No, you're not.
Not to see me, by the way. That's not the leading reason, everybody.
I literally told you it was to see you. I asked you how close the other place was to you to see if I could make the trip to both people. God.
I mean, it's only fair since Bobby went out your way.
So fun to bug. I do want to follow up just on a Johnny Beecher comment, and I should have put the game on. I apologize. These teams are so fast, though. I think Johnny Beecher's gone.
Your tweet,
I think
you said that he's going to be like a Panther or whatever.
I swear Bobby loves just trolling.
I was like, how serious?
No, I just like watching the way his seasons ended, like the last 2 months, like everything Brett said, like I do love his PK abilities. He's great in the faceoff dot, but like that's a fillable role. I mean, we lost Sean Corrali, and the next week we had Curtis Lazar. Like
this is my problem with fillable role. Yes, maybe go get a veteran. I just love how good Beecher is in the dot, but my biggest issue with it is I'm worried they'll go get a 3C or somehow Minton will become a 4C, and the Bruins. He's never getting out of that. Like I want them to develop his offensive side, and he sees the game. If you put him in that 4C slot, he's Beecher 2.0, and that's all you're gonna get out of him. And I just don't think you have enough Beechers. Like work on Minton's offensive side of the game. Like that's no, it's just that's my worry.
Like him. I just all the signs are pointing to him getting a chance to explore the market, in my opinion. Which wouldn't be bad because there are a lot of teams that will overpay for a 4th-line center that play for the Bruins.
But isn't he an RFA? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a qualifying offer because it'll be
a qualifying offer, I should say. Yeah,
it won't cost much for the other team.
Oh God, is he going to be Dylan Holloway 2.0? We're just going to let him walk because someone overpays.
Yeah.
And Beecher pops off for 60 and 60 next year.
We just get a shit.
Yeah. I also just think like everything we've seen since March 7th, whether that be the fans, the name droppers at the bar, the management, the ownership, we've all seen what this team is. We've all gotten a chance to dissect it. And I think any kind of loose end that you have, any kind of opportunity you can move away from, you got to take this summer. And Johnny Beecher does fall under those, in my books, the category of, well, you've been here since 2019. You showed up a year late, and you haven't really progressed yourself. In my opinion, he doesn't get the sophomore slump tag that like Patra and Lorai did, because it's like you were supposed to be our 4th-line center in like 2022.
Yeah.
It's like,
did Lorai
it's
win?
one of those things where I'm like, it's just one of those things where I'm just like, that's why I'm out on Beecher, and it's nothing against him. I had someone popping off my comments. I did have someone popping off my comments, and
it was my burner.
Stalking someone else who loves Beecher, going off about how he party, and I'm like, yeah, I get it. He came to your bar. He didn't acknowledge you. Like,
guys can't have fun anymore, eh? Guys can't have a couple cold drinks anymore, eh? All right.
Yeah.
No,
the guy's probably watching. He probably just tuned out. I'm sorry for the drop in one number there.
Did Lorai win the green jacket?
No.
Did he have the worst plus minus in the league? I want him to win it so bad, just to make because it makes people mad.
So in case
I don't.
in case you don't know what we're talking about, there's this former Stanley Cup champion.
Well, I'm not even about him. I don't like him, but Green Jacket's funny.
Yeah, and he posted Lorai's plus minus numbers and how he's leading the league. And then like every Joe Blow like jumped in on it, and they all know who Lorai is now. Kami also just like can't cross the border without throwing a hissy fit, so I don't know if I take it with a grain of salt, you know.
Dude, I gotta see. Hold on.
What do you guys think he
Mason
finished
Lorai, -43, baby. Let's go.
Dude, I thought it was like in the 70s. Not gonna lie.
Let's go. Guess who was second? Tyler Bertuzzi, -39.
Yeah. He managed.
I'm proud of him.
Easy points and then dropped him.
I'm honestly proud of him. Anybody that's mad about that, get in my comments. I will go to bat for Lorai all day. That is That's like going 0-9 on a parlay and just not hitting any game. Like, that's impressive, dude, to be that bad defensively. And I think he's gonna work on it.
Wait, hold on.
That's amazing.
You think Lorai was that bad defensively?
No, well, see, I don't think he was that bad defensively. I think that okay. So, do you know who the Green Jacket winner was 2 years ago?
No.
His D partner, Adam Peake.
Okay, but
so I think there's some correlation there. I think the both of them just shouldn't be together because they're both not very good. Like, they don't. It doesn't work. It doesn't vibe. Peake had a pretty bad plus minus too. In a year like this year, I could give two shits about plus minus. I just think it's hilarious that we have like this offensive defenseman that's just trying to find his footing, playing top pairing minutes in the NHL in his second year, and he goes -43 on the year. Like, it's pretty impressive.
Didn't it kind of look like they just sent him out there and said, "Do whatever you want"?
Well,
like, it didn't look like there's much structure to our defense. And especially when it came to Lorai, it just it looked like they kind of told him like, hey, like try some moves. You know, if you want to be cute at the blue line, do it, but don't worry about, you know, coughing up the puck at the blue line. I don't know. Maybe he just wasn't listening, and he just like knew that the season was a major loss and it was his time to shine. In a sense,
I know it's Andrew Peake. I say Adam. You got to listen to OB more. I call him Adam Peake because I made a graphic wrong one time. But
I'm not gonna lie, you convinced me just then and there that it was Adam again, and I was so confused.
It's because he reminds me of Adam McQuaid so much. They literally look the same on the ice. So like I always mix it up. But no, it's like you said, Boosie. Like, a lot of those are empty net goals. Like, how many empty net goals did we let in this year? Like, a bunch. He's on the ice for half of the season of those. A lot. 4-on-4 goals. We were horrible on 4-on-4 this year. Like, I think it was Ty Anderson did a plus minus for 5-on-5 goals only. And like, I'm pretty sure.
Man.
What? What?
Sorry, go on.
Oh.
Sorry.
I'm pretty sure Lorai.
I was just saying thanks for hanging out, bro.
I'm pretty sure Lorai was only like a -17 on there, which like paints a better picture to like how he plays defensively.
I would trade him. He's not reliable.
Would you take Schaefer if you get the first overall pick?
I would probably trade him for like Logan Stanley. You know, get a big body D back in there. You know, I like that Stanley guy. He's big.
We just tuned into 98.5.
A big guy. We had a big guy in the back end there, Chara. He was a big guy. That's what we need. We need a big guy.
I can't find this.
It's spot on, though.
Sorry. It is spot on.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just looking for this plus minus.
I've been watching the Bruins
now.
since 1998. Okay, I've seen a few things. I understand a few things.
Sound like my dad.
You guys watch Moneyball? I read Moneyball. Okay.
Moneyball. I wrote Moneyball. Okay, I found it. In 74 games, Mason Lorai was a -18 on 5-on-5 play. So not great, but like, and Peake was a -16. His partner, Beecher -10. and then it's not that bad after that. The one that surprises me the
13
most
empty
is,
net goals. Chris Nosek just said, "What's up, Chris?"
dude, Nikita Zadorov +5 in 78 games. Put him up for the heart. Put him up for the fucking heart, baby.
Who's
No
this?
way anybody thought that.
Nikita
Zadorov.
Zadorov.
He really turned it around.
Do you think?
Did he
that
win any
Do you think
award?
there's too many cooks in the kitchen, and Zadorov thought he was gonna come in and be some leader? Now that Marchand's gone, he's like settled his game down and like stopped trying too hard to be a guy that like he's not, and he just started playing his own
Part of me
game.
thinks Zadorov came in here thinking that the Bruins had true potential, and when things started kind of going south real quick, he got pretty frustrated. And then, I mean, half the time with the decor too, it just looked like there was no structure to it. Something that we haven't been used to as a Bruins fan for however many years. It's just like everyone looked lost, even McAvoy at times. Like, I don't know. I mean, you could say that for the team.
Bye Jay Leach.
Yeah, God, I like you. If you're not gonna clean, that's another thing too. Like we go on and on. If you're not gonna clean house in the front office, you got to clean out the bench. Like you can't have so many Bruins ties here. Like,
dude, it's what I thought.
We love
I'm glad
Chris
you brought
Kelly.
it
He's
up.
got to go.
That's what I thought today was. I thought Saka
Yeah.
was just gonna get ahead of it and resign and be like, I want to go, find something, like find another team. He's been here 12 years? This is his 13th year. So like, you can't be an assistant coach for 13 years and then just fucking take the reins. Like you can. I just don't think he's the guy. And he should have took that job in San Jose a couple years ago, but 2020 vision. But yeah, no, you got to clean house. The only one I would keep is Chris Kelly because London Knights. Hey, take a drink, baby. Captain of the London Knights, baby. Alumni, Hall of Fame for the London Knights, baby.
Yeah, no, I think, yeah, like you said, I when that Greg Hill went and shot for the Stars again. That's what I thought it was gonna be. I was just like, yeah, these assistant coaches and Sacco, and like obviously it's gonna happen next week. I think 17th's the date of the press conference when they, hopefully lick their wounds. I
You
don't
think
wanna
they
hear
bring in
no,
Talkett before the press conference?
from what I heard, it's
Is his contract even up?
He's got it. He's smart. He did like whatever in football where you can like decide if you want to sign your last year, whatever that's called.
yeah, but the problem is that Vancouver
Option.
is
There you go.
Yeah, Vancouver is taking the option though.
Yeah, but he can say no. This is a mess.
So, but then
Would
then
you
we have
rather
to give him
coach?
we have to give him something essentially. Then
Would
right?
you rather
how it
coach
works.
Elias Pettersson or David Pastrnak?
Possibly.
You want me to?
Yeah.
You want me to answer? Or you want me to do one of the call-ins like I'm on a radio show?
Please don't turn 98.5 back on.
Yeah, I've seen both of them play, and I gotta tell you, I don't like either one. I don't like either one.
Those Euros, man.
You know who I like though? I like Bull Horvat. All right, Bo's a good guy, big boy, scores goals. Bo. Thanks for hanging up, Brett. I hope they
he asked
clean
for your
house.
impersonation and then he leaves right away. What a dick.
Yeah, because I hit too. I reminded him of his dad. He's got to go and talk to his therapist. So mean. Anyway, so Brett's obviously listening to Zach Bryan having a beer and a cigarette. So, Liv, what are some of the moves you want to see this off season? Like, let's say you get a phone call from the season ticket office.
Right.
What's the moves that would make you go, yeah, here's my credit card, here's my deposit, let's go.
Trent Frederick coming back. No, I'm kidding.
I'd
be down.
No, that would be a nightmare. Actually,
Can't take pain twice.
yeah, no, thank you. I don't, honest to God, like I don't even know. Like I feel like I'm so like out of the loop in a sense. I just have no expectations. I have no idea. I think besides like losing Trent and Braz, like we knew those were coming, but everything else I was like, what even just happened? So I don't even know what to expect.
I'm really happy for Charlie Quill. I can't wait to watch him host the Cup this year. Good for him. He's having. They love him there. Like I've been watching Avs games because they're so fun to watch as it is. They love him there. They put him out in the last minute of every game. Like, he's taking faceoffs that McKinnon should be. And I'm like, my buddy who I told at the deadline, he's like, what the fuck? He was a middle stack guy. He just knew Bednar didn't like him. And, you know, it is what it is. They play a different game in Colorado. He messaged me recently. He's like, dude, you were so right. Like, we love Charlie Coyle. I was like, yeah, like, but that, I'm more sad that we lost good human beings. I'm happy for like all the players in the position. Like, me and you DM'd about the Trent Frederick thing, and I was like, dude, he gets to play with Draisaitl and McDavid. Like, as much as it sucks watching those games late at night, like, they're always on after Bruins games. Well, Bruins aren't in the playoffs this year, but like, he gets to go prove, you know. Unfortunately, he got re-injured, but they get to go prove their worth with other teams. Like Carlo, last minute of every Leafs game, shutting down the game with Tanev on the ice. Like, that's as much as it sucks. Like, we got Fraser Minton a first, you know, like a second, Husnudinov, Lauko back for the vibes. I know some people don't love that. Fucking, you know, Will Zellers, Middlestat. You could maybe flip him at the draft if you don't love what you've seen. Like, as much as I want Don Sweeney fired, and I personally think this was an Evan Gold masterclass, watching Behind the B and just hearing from some people, you can't, other than losing great human beings, you can't be upset at the trade deadline because everybody got their best opportunity to go prove their best qualities on teams that needed those fits, and you got King's Ransom back. Other than, the only one that makes me mad is Marchand. The only one that makes me mad, because it's like, I wanted to watch him play it's selfish. I wanted to watch him play 1,000 games as a Bruin and hit 1,000 points as a Bruin, and that's just me selfishly. But, you know, if it turns into a first round pick in a draft where Florida could be really stumbling by then, fuck. Maybe you accidentally get another franchise player. Like, you never know, right? So it sucked, but watching the 3-13 team that we watched the past couple months was way more exciting than watching the 30-30 team that we watched all season.
That is true, actually. Like, you know, and like Coyle, I think, needed kind of a new look too. Like,
he's with Wags too.
Yeah, I know. Those are vibes.
Yeah, that's vibes. Vibes are up.
Yeah. So, like, honestly, that is a good point. Like, for being sellers, it was actually like not that ugly. Like, it was, but then when you take back the layers and really understand what it means for us, it's kind of like, all right, like, I'll take that.
Yeah. And everyone for the most part went to organizations that are, you know, they're going to take care of them, and they're not going to
like they're world-class organizations.
Like Brad's going to Minnesota.
Maybe, Minnesota, but we fleeced them, so I don't really. Sorry, Braz. Thanks for your service, buddy.
Yeah, I was big chilling with that one, but
Brazzers 55 forever, but thanks for the picks and prospects. I'm good.
Yeah. On the note of Charlie Coyle, and just to be a damper, because obviously I live in Winnipeg, so it's been the talk of the town all day. This has all the layouts to be the St. Louis revenge tour. Dallas, because Colorado don't match up that. They don't match up that well, in my opinion. I think this is a Colorado sluggerfest. St. Louis, no disrespect to Winnipeg, they don't even care. St. Louis is for sure looking at Colorado. Bennington's looking at Colorado. They should have won that series in 2022. Kadri doesn't ever injure Bennington. They probably beat Colorado in 5. They sweep Edmonton in 3, and Tampa doesn't even know what hit them. Then before you know it, it's Jordan Bennington, one of the best clutch goalies of all time. Conversations start happening. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many. Like, it sucks watching Jets fans like all day be like, we got that. I'm like, I think everybody and their cousin, minus St. Louis fans, are underestimating the Blues.
Yeah.
And I think Colorado's the closest team. They're the only team I think that has a shot at like knocking them out.
But I think even
if they get Vegas, it's not looking good.
Have you forgotten who's coaching the St. Louis Blues and his track record in the playoffs?
What a great story. Hockey, one of my favorite parts about the NHL is...
Sorry, man.
It's the only sport that really gives people a real shot at having a redemption story. And what a redemption story that'll be.
Good point.
Gets fired, misses the semi, goes to St. Louis, the team that he was supposed to coach and usurp Craig Berube before. and he leads them back to the ship.
Honestly,
when everyone counted them out.
I would
Not
love
me.
to
watch. I wouldn't.
Not
watch
me.
the
I'm the one that
finals.
told I've been telling everyone for months. Like, they're coming. They're coming, dude. Like, and everyone's like, no, it's fine. They're 6 points back. They're 5 points
that
back.
second
and now
round pick
they're
that was
here.
supposed to be like a top 10 second round pick quickly turned into a late second round pick.
And Edmonton's just getting screwed every way. Like, they trade for Trent. Trent gets a shift in. And now they're all injured. Wait, here's the thing. If they sign Trent Frederick, let's say Donnie signs Trent Frederick this summer, we're getting investigated for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
what did you send to Edmonton? Because he didn't even
honestly,
play.
That's what I was
that
thinking
1-6
about
shot at Sportsnet.
with the Marchand thing. Like, they'd probably get investigated with tampering so fast if they re-sign Marchand to like a $2 or $3 million deal. They get so there's no way, man. But anyways, sorry, that just came up in my mind. I hate St. Louis as much as I hate the Montreal Canadiens, so fuck that guy. Not Monty,
really.
Just the whole organization.
That's a strong take right there.
Oh, I
Yeah,
can't
that is a
stand St. Louis, dude. I've never liked them.
I just can't stand Bennington.
I hate that guy.
Yeah,
I love Bennington.
Yeah.
Bring him to
Oh.
Boston.
Yeah.
I love Thomas.
We have our
I
own
love
Bennington. We got
I love-
Bennington at home.
Yeah. Yeah. There are a lot of people that are
Sorry, Sway.
I still like
do.
though.
Ugh.
Liv, do you think what's your way too early prediction on Sway next season?
That's no.
Listen.
I'm here, baby. I got the big headphones on. I'm ready to go.
I don't. Maybe this will be like my Brett geeky moment here.
Yeah. Join the club.
He's, to me, not a number one goalie. I just don't think.
Geeky just sent him the link to this. You're gonna want to hear this.
I think, great guy, I guess, but I just don't. I think what really just put me off a little was last year, the whole situation.
Yeah.
Just
Plus being married into the mob, it's kind of a bad look, right? Let's
not bring that up. I don't need trouble over here.
Oh, guys can't have fun anymore, eh?
Loves The Sopranos. What's wrong?
I just think he did. I think he does well with. I mean, I know you're never gonna see a tandem like Linus and Sway again, where it's so cool and they both kind of brought the best out of each other in a sense. But I don't know. I just think he's,
he hasn't proved himself that he can be the number one. Maybe in the playoffs last year, but he kind of always had that security blanket of knowing that Allmark was right behind him to bail him out, or if anything, or maybe just to make him play better. It kind of felt like he knew the net was his and Corpy wasn't any competition. And that no matter what, because he's the big dog on campus with that contract, that they were just going to keep playing him and give him the chances, because, I mean, as you should when he's getting paid that much. But I have some serious concern if he can be a number one. He says he wants to play 60 to 70 games a year.
Yeah, that's the problem.
We know that's only sustainable for one goalie in this league at playing at a good rate in Vasilevsky. But I don't know, man. I just... Swayman, man.
Play 50 regular season games and then play 4 rounds of hockey, baby. There you go. You get your 60 to 70 games.
There's too much drama this offseason around Swayman and the contract, and he was going too public with it, and it was just never, even when the contract was signed, whether it was a week or two after going public with it, or when he did sign it as right before the season kicked off and missing training camp, whenever he did sign it, it was just never gonna bode well. And I don't know if you guys remember, but Marchand made comments early on in the season saying
something.
No, he said he would never talk publicly about contract talks.
Yeah.
And that's when the Swayman talks were going on, and that's when Swayman was going public with it. Mm-hmm. So I don't know, maybe it was a little bit of a shot. Maybe some of the guys were kind of fed up with it, and maybe his ego got a little bit too big with such a small sample size compared to what goalies typically get after with numbers like that after playing a significant amount of games. But I don't know. I mean, as a Bruins fan, I have to hope that he's going to turn into number one and be the guy and see what we've seen in the playoffs from him before. But you never know with him. I don't know.
And
In
it's
my, oh, sorry, Liv, go.
all I was gonna say is like that like you're stuck with him more or less. Like no one's gonna take
Oh yeah,
It's not a tradable contract. Yeah.
even like a conversation for
no.
Yeah.
So
And watching him the past couple games, especially like even that game last night against New Jersey, it's so in between his ears. It's not even funny. Like I'm watching this guy and the 2 goals in the third. I'm like, bro, he let that one in, and then the second one, I was just like, you're so in your own head. You're not even seeing the puck anymore, dude. Like the one he blockered up in the air that bounced into the net, and the next one he just gets beat low blocker, which me and Bobby have talked about his low blocker forever now, dating back to certain playoff series. But I just think it's been all between the ears. The problem I have with critiquing players when they're outspoken in the media is that's what we want, and then they do it, and we castricize them, and it's I'm an outspoken guy. I don't have a problem with Sweeney said it because he was getting berated by it's everybody's fault. It's everybody in that situation's fault.
No.
It's Sweeney's fault, it's Neely's fault, it's Swayman's fault, it's
like
training
when they
camp
go
shit, like it's all of that, right? So I don't know. I'm not gonna. 3 people that I'm giving a leash to are Zadorov, Lindholm, and Swayman. That's it. Because Zadorov and Lindholm both had 5 coaches in 2 years, and Swayman was just his own disaster. So, if Lindholm can look like that beside Pasternak, I'm fine with Lindholm. Zadorov's looked great lately. I just got to see. This is the thing, like Swayman's battling through it. He just doesn't have it right now. Like he's so mentally lost, in my opinion. Or it's a classic case of the yips, and I hate that word. I'm not gonna lie, but let's just hope he can get away from the arena this summer. And like this guy should be in Alaska today. Like I need him to take like a month, or like Razor was talking about this. Like this is a season you hop on a plane to Alaska and you turn your phone off for like a month, and then you like figure out what you're gonna do training wise.
He's probably already there. That's probably why he let in the OT goal, because he's like, oh shit, we accidentally went into overtime. I got a flight to catch.
Dude, I think I was saying I think he's the only guy that was leaning into the tank because of some of the goals he was letting in. I'm like, there's no way this guy isn't like, all right, I want a young stud skating in front of me next year.
Yeah.
I mean, he's there for the long haul. Same with Pasternak. You don't want to waste either of their primes. You need a top pick. So, and the future isn't looking bright with the young guys so far. So we'll have to kind of, I don't know. I'm interested to see what they do this offseason. With the salary cap going up, not as much this offseason, but next year where it makes a huge jump. And obviously we don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves and look into who's a free agent next year. But
Eichel.
I've got
Eichel and Marner.
So first off, I think Swayman's gonna have an absolute bounce back year. I do agree with Chris. I do think he's a clear-cut number 1. I just hope all offseason Swayman is just going for long walks in Alaska. Yeah. And when people do see him, he just instantly goes into like that Tom Brady 28-3 pose where he just sits down and he's just like, I'm meditating. I am, that's I see that in Swayman. I'm glad a little weird. I'm kind of glad he had the season he had because I think it's nice sometimes to know how low it can go. Yeah. Kind of it'll give him a little more like reality later into this contract when he's
that's true.
He's the dog. He's who's getting called for Team USA. He's like, well, I've seen how bad it can get. With leading into that, because I did want to bring this up earlier, which has been kind of spidering around here, which I do love. But the big name and the big talk, obviously with NCAA and the Frozen Four and the conclusion of that, with overtime chicks burning up. Who lost? Is that BU?
Brett
Be
would
you.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hate to be you.
Sucks to be you. So David Carlisle, obviously that's the big fish this summer. I've been wanting to. I want to hear Liv's opinion about this dude, which I wanted to bring this up now, not on the pod. But Ellie Freeman reported that he's looking for multiple scenarios. So a winnable situation, a good organization with growth, obviously of young talent, and a livable area for his family. Does Boston not fill out all of those boxes? Swayman being the main thing. Like, show me a good coach, I'll show you a great goalie. Well,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like,
You got the goalie, you have the
Plus
star player.
Denver's always had great goalies too, so that doesn't shock me. That's something he wants.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
Their team's getting ripped apart too. So like I've very much been like Pandolfo will never leave BU, but like this is a different situation with Carl. Is it Carl?
Carlisle.
I think it's Carl.
Carlisle.
It's Carl.
Whatever,
It's
yeah.
spelt like
I'd say Carlisle,
Carlisle.
yeah.
That's why it screws me up. But anyways, it's just like these guys have it so made. They get to pick their roster. They get to field their lineup every night and coach this team. Like if I was to get into coaching, I'd 100% want to coach college hockey more than the NHL or CHL or anything like that, because you are the GM, the coach, and everything in between. So I just have a hard time seeing these until they do leave, which, Carl's taken the Montgomery route, won won 2 world championships, back-to-back World Juniors medalists, said he's not going to go back and coach the World Juniors the last year, and that's what speculated that maybe he's ready to leave college hockey, next year. But I don't know, man, like the Bruins, I'm so worried who they're going to hire. Like if it's not a no-brainer like that or Talkit or I don't know, a Carberry type, then I'm so worried they're just gonna like bring in David Quinn and be like, all right, have fun, buddy.
Don't even say that.
Like, no.
Why would you put that out into the world?
Because he's looking for a job and he's a BU guy. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
so-
it's just
so-
it's
so
so
is-
Don
He's already
Sweeney.
been passed over once here.
So is Michael Rappaport. That guy's been looking for a job for like 3 years. Doesn't mean you go out and hire
Sacco
him. Like,
got the San Jose job over David Quinn and turned it down. Crazy.
You think he regrets that?
I would.
Got it.
Fuck.
Yeah.
yeah.
Get the coach
when he's
Macklin,
trying to listen
Celebrini,
to
and Will
AC/DC, when he's trying to listen to AC/DC on the way to
Yeah.
the arena, and it's just Greg Gill being like, "Yeah, I don't know about Sacco. Like he doesn't even know.
Yeah.
I asked him what 2 + 2 was, and he told me that there are fish in the sky. So I don't know about the guy, And he's probably like, "Geez, in San Jose, they probably don't care about the Sharks that much." Like,
I think I'm most interested about that, to be honest. About like
fish in the sky.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on up there. No, but just like cleaning house with like
Yeah.
like yeah, I'm excited or excited, a little bit anxious to see about the players and the draft and whatnot. But also just like we need to see who's gonna be in control of all this too. Like I don't know. Because it's clear we're not losing Don or Cam. Like the Jacobs have made that pretty.
And if that's going to be the case, I don't want any Bruins coaches or the future Bruins coaches have any ties to the Bruins or like just this coaching system that we've had for however many years. The only one that's safe for me is goalie coach Bob. He doesn't go anywhere. You give
I
him a
was so
lifelong
worried he was going to
contract.
resign. I was like, man, maybe
Imagine.
he saw this season was like, fuck this.
How about
Bob babe. Winnipeg Jet legend.
Sorry, Bob. Sorry, Boosie. I didn't mean to cut you off. But
No, I'm used to it. It's cool.
yeah, you get it, baby.
yeah?
But that's the only guy. That's the only guy I hold on to, and then the rest you just kind of have to move on from. I mean, I don't want like. I don't know. You need a fresh start somewhere. You've had Sacco here within the organization forever.
Yeah.
You brought back Jay
Leach.
Leach. Chris Kelly's been here for too long. You got to move on. You need a fresh start there. If you're not going to change up the front office just yet, you need to try something new. Obviously, firing Monty wasn't the problem. It was just it was it was the roster, unfortunately, or what it looks like. I don't know. It's maybe they
whole
need to get away from a
situation
new
was-
structure. Like there's so much that we don't know, like what's actually truly wrong with it, because I refuse to believe that the roster that we had to start the season wasn't good enough to be at least a contender for the wild card spot. Because you saw bits and pieces of it throughout the season, and sure, you can kind of fall back to like the decor kind of falling apart, the penalty kill being ungodly bad, which is just so uncharacteristic for this Boston Bruins organization. And the power play, you kind of got used to being bad, so that's fine. But you always had the PK being top 5 in the league, and then goaltending just being absolute dog water. And that's another thing that we haven't been used to. So it was just such a weird season. So that's where the kind of question is where do you even start? Is it obviously you need new coaches, but where do they want to go with that? How do they want to go about that? And then free agents this upcoming off season. And then, I mean, right now you have 0 left wingers going into next season, assuming Lysel's going to be one of them. But right now you have 0 left wingers.
They've been playing him on the right side, though.
They've been playing him on the right side, you said?
Yeah.
So, okay. So he might be your second line right winger. You know, sure, maybe you have Geeky, but
Yeah. Yeah, I guess Geeky's a left winger now, eh?
They love to do that too. They love
Yeah.
to just
So let's see. This is the thing too. Like, I'm very curious to see if they pull Patra aside this summer and be like, "All right, buddy, like you gotta learn right wing if you want to stay with this franchise, or we're gonna have to upgrade elsewhere because we got way too many playmaking centers. And if you're gonna fit in this raw, he's weaker in the draws in the NHL game. He could still take draws on his side if he needs to, but it's something that I'm very curious about, especially with Patra. And you brought in like 5 centers, unless Middlestat's like you're flipping him, and you just wanted to showcase him essentially these last couple games. But the thing that's very intriguing to me is this has to be Sweeney and Neely's last coaching hire, right? Like, this is 5 coaches. Most GMs and presidents get 1.5, maybe 2. And it just, like, you got to think that they're going to take their time with this, which is scary to me too, because I don't want to go into the draft without a coach, because I know they don't get much of a say, but you'd like to know what type of system you're playing going forward before you draft a potential not franchise player, but a franchise altering player. So it's going to be very interesting to see who they go with, because you got to think this is their last hire. It's got to be.
yeah. Realistically, gotta.
Like, 5 coaching hires is nuts in today's day and age. The fact that they've been with the organization as long as they have been is insane. So,
Yeah, but who knows? That they could be laying down the groundwork to what you should be doing with your organization moving forward.
true.
Maybe the whole 3-coach rule thing is getting a little bit stagnated in the NHL. Maybe it's better to have a GM for 10 to 15 years that just kind of overlooks, everything rather than, the chaos. I mean, obviously, like, maybe I'm just on the other side of the river here. I don't actually hate all of Don Sweeney's moves. Like, one thing I was thinking about the other night was I like that Don Sweeney just bit the bullet and made the team faster, made the team younger. Because in most cases, the Bruins have waited until they've met a team that is the future of the NHL to realize that they're a step behind.
Yeah.
And they're finally taking the step forward. So, yeah.
My mom texted me, "Oh, Chara. Chara's not."
What about Chara as
I could see
president?
Chara being the next GM or president. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see
Or
president
coach?
more than GM personally, just because. Like, I had somebody DM me today, and they're like, "Neely's never gonna leave, dude. Like, the Jacobs love him so much. Like, we're gonna be with Neely for the next 15 years, probably." Which, it happens. Presidents-wise, that happens way more than GMs, obviously. But I would love to see, like, the fact that Chara's in the organization learning right now tells me that those are the next steps to get him somewhere in a upper management role. I'd like to see Evan Gold be the next GM. I know a lot of people are like, you're just going to get Sweeney 2.0. Nah, I think the way that Sweeney delegates, I think Evan Gold does a lot more than the naked eye understands, especially hearing like Dom talk so highly about him. So I don't know. It's gonna be really interesting to see what goes forward. Even not even just this next year, but like the next 3 to 5 years. Sorry, because if this doesn't work, you become the Pittsburgh Penguins real quick, and Pasternak's asking to leave real quick. And I don't know. Pasternak's got a lot of loyalty, maybe not Pasternak, but what I guess what I'm saying is you turn into like blow it up mode, and you're Buffalo for the next 10 years.
Yeah, that's
So
what
they really got to make it work.
Don't even put that out into this universe.
like.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
How many years do you think? Like, we want to think that they'll have a quick like bounce back and just be like right back into the Bruins we know and stuff. But it's like realistically, how many years do you think is going to be not as bad as this year, but kind of, not making the playoffs, ugly type of thing?
I think you've joined the Ottawa, Montreal, Detroit conversation, and that's where you kind of fall in the standings going forward here, unless
But-
like Tampa, Florida, or Toronto take a step back out of nowhere.
You
Like
you
I
said
still-
Montreal. Who'd you say?
calling them-
Montreal, Detroit.
you've become a wild card team like next year and hopefully not the year after, but
Okay,
I think next year you're
maybe.
definitely trying to be a wild card team.
Within the next year for sure. Because
Yeah.
I think as long as you have David Pastrnak on this team and in his prime and putting up MVP like seasons like this year, that you have to be in consideration for, like, you can't be sellers at the next trade deadline or two. I think maybe you can soft sell, but I think I think you have to continue to start building like what they did however many seasons ago when they kind of retooled on the fly right there. I think obviously it's in between like a rebuild and retool right now, but if you're gonna have Pastrnak put up seasons like this and say Geeky even does like 20 goal seasons,
Yeah.
Swayman bounces back.
Hampus Lindholm's healthy.
Lindholm's the one I'm
Lindholm's
fucking worried about.
I know that it's a scary
dude.
injury.
I remember when people like he'll be back in 6 weeks. I broke my kneecap. I didn't skate for 2.5 years, and like I get it, I'm not in the NHL, but like this is like I had 3 setbacks with my knee, and I had the exact same injury. And when people like he'll play again this year, I was like, I don't know if bro's gonna ever skate the same again. Like I hate to be that guy, but like everything moves through your knee, and he's a big man, and he's already not the flightest at feet, right? So I'm hoping Hampus Lindholm bounces back without an itch or anything like that. But like you said, Boosie, like you need both Lindholms. You need Zadorov to be Zadorov that we saw in Vancouver and the end of this season. And you Pastrnak to continue to be himself and Swayman to bounce back. And I already think you're better than the teams I mentioned, Detroit, Montreal, Ottawa, you name it, just with the star power you have and the goaltending if Swayman can bounce back. I just think you're not in the top 3 of your division anymore.
No,
you're going to take a couple years to get back
when you talk about being a playoff team, what every playoff team has is they have their top dog on forward, they have their top dog on defense, and then they have their goalie who's right there in the league, and you have all 3 of those. You just have to stay healthy, of course, but you have to produce. And McAvoy was up and down. The only consistent play you got this year was Pastrnak, and Pastrnak he started off slow this year. But I think you can be a true wild card contender if you have those 3 guys clicking on all cylinders right there, because especially it starts with Swayman. You have a 40 to 50 goal scorer. You have a shutdown defenseman who can produce points as well. You have 2 defensemen that can produce points, maybe even 3 if you want to throw Lori in there. But I think you can look at Hampus coming back, and then that helps protect Lori a little bit back there. There's a lot of little factors here and there that go into being a wild card contender next year before you even add to this team this offseason, in my opinion.
No,
What do they do with Wotherspoon? I feel like he's like low-key not a discussion enough just of like.
That's why I think he's gone.
I just think Callahan's taking over that spot.
He's going to be cheaper. Yeah.
Cheaper. Callahan's one of those
Mothersbaugh
players.
deserves to get paid too.
He does, and especially being a journeyman. But Callahan's like a coach's wet dream, dude. Like he does very rarely do you notice him on the ice, and that's a good thing because he's like Brandon Carlo in a way. Like he's just a shutdown. His stick is amazing. He's got great shutdown ability. Doesn't need the points, so you don't have to put him out in those offensive situations. Just a good 7-8D. And plus he'll probably, I think his contract this year was like $836,000. So you're looking at like $850,000 qualifying offer. Boston boy played in Providence. He's going to sign that. No questions asked.
That's true. Actually, that's a good point.
So that one, I'm more worried about like, is Yoki Haru going to be your top 4 defenseman? Like, fuck that guy.
He can't be your top.
Yeah, like what the? Don't like that guy on our roster one bit, in my opinion.
I think that's a guy that you unfortunately just let walk.
Yeah,
he gave you a whole lot of nothing, in my opinion.
Who do you give the C to, or do you go no C next season?
I go no C next year for a year and play it out. I'm big on that. I wanted them to do that this year.
But you're releasing new jerseys, so they're not going to do it. Let's say you had to pick.
Gun to the head. I mean, last year I would have said McAvoy if it wasn't for Martian, but I have to say Pasternak now.
Yeah, I'd probably go Pasta too.
You got to go Pasternak, man. Like, did you know that? Hold up. I'm coming with stats. Do you know how consistent of a player Pasternak is? He never gets injured. Like, fucking knock on wood, Jesus. But yeah, but in the last 3 seasons, he's averaged. Okay, but listen, in the last 3 seasons, he's averaged like 70 games a season, right? McAvoy's averaged like 45 in the last 3 seasons. I can't have my captain in the stands. And this isn't a shot at McAvoy. He plays the game hard. He plays the game
Sounds
to
like a
get
shot
injured.
at McAvoy.
I took it last year, dude, and I got dragged by everybody, and now everybody's like, "Oh, Pasternak's my captain." Yeah, I know this.
Tweeted at you, buddy. Chill out there.
So I'm just saying, for me, I need my captain to be in and on the ice as much as possible, and I just. McAvoy just plays a little too hard for me, but I think there's a real world possibility where Pasternak goes, nah, I don't want to give it to McAvoy.
Yeah, that's true. I feel like
which is probably your best option, to be honest.
I still think they start off the season with 3 to 4 A's, and then December when they announce the Stadium Series jerseys, that's when they announce the captaincy.
No, if you start a season with 3 A's, you end the season with 3 A's. I don't want a half-season captain.
It is
Give me something to look forward to in the
offseason.
I'm not the St. Louis Blues, and don't ever compare me to them again.
I don't know. You're from London. I don't know. I'm surprised you even have Wi-Fi, bro.
It's Canadian.
Mm-hmm. Who would you? So you got. Let's say they just go A's. You got McAvoy. You got Pasta. What other two?
Zadorov.
Hampus. Yeah, Hampus. Sorry.
Yeah,
whoa. Not a lie. Whoa.
Yeah.
But
I should win the Hart this year.
Hypothetically speaking, Marchand comes back. What do you do?
Nothing.
Does he get to see again, or
I don't think he'd take it back. I think he'd do the Blake Wheeler, like it's not my time anymore.
It would feel weird, right? Like,
I wouldn't want it back. I'd want no letter. I'd be like, this isn't my team.
The worst things.
I was like, I'd be like, this isn't my team anymore. I don't even want a letter, to be honest.
I don't even entertain. I don't even entertain bringing it back, let alone entertain retiring his number at one point. So
whoa.
No,
you wouldn't retire Marchand's number.
No, you were part of more Stanley Cups we didn't win than the one you did win.
I can get behind this, Bobby. I can get behind this.
Sorry. And you pull up the you
don't
the
win
dagger to go to Florida.
You don't. Hey, you know me, Bobby.
The dagger to go to Florida.
I've always been you don't win a cup without David Krejci, and I think his number should be retired before Tuca or Marchand.
100%.
You don't win a cup without David Krejci.
The Krejci night's gonna go wild. The greatest part is gonna run out of.
He's just gonna zoom in from North Carolina. He's not even gonna come to the game.
Yeah.
No. God.
Which
That
speaking
would be
of
something.
retiring numbers, though, actually, when do you think? Because you got to assume it goes like Chara, then Bergeron,
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
Krejci. When do you think they're gonna pull the?
That's like next decade when they need
Yeah.
ticket sales.
I was gonna say next year, so I have a reason to want to go see games again, but never mind.
I wouldn't be
like-
surprised if say Chara was next year, just because
I feel like Char's, yeah,
you're
is
getting new
sooner.
jerseys, allegedly, and it's
Mhm.
just maybe you're trying to draw. Maybe you need to, drive tickets and
Yeah.
draw people back in. Say you get off to a slow start, and obviously it's something that people usually go into the season planned already. But I could see them planning that on the fly, be like, hey, Chara, like giving him a call or seeing him at Warrior, just be like, hey, how do you think about your number being retired like in January or whatever,
What team would you want? If you got to pick, like theoretically, just saying, they were like, hey, Boosie or Liv, like Brett, what team do you want Chara's jersey to get retired the night of? Because he does have a lot of affinity. with
Islanders.
Dude, you're an Islanders guy, eh?
No,
Yeah.
it's just because that's who he was drafted
No,
by.
I mean, like I know. I'm just saying, like in this situation, you're the Islanders.
Vancouver.
Vancouver would suck for them.
Yeah, exactly.
Montreal would be hilarious because they hate him.
Montreal would be good, yeah.
They don't.
Vancouver, Montreal.
He did have a warrant out for his arrest there. So.
Yeah, that's true.
He did.
Yeah,
That's
so nails.
You retire.
If they do it next year, if they do,
you do the ceremony.
He doesn't even have to go on. He doesn't have to go to ladder. He just like lifts it up. Yeah. If they were to do it next year or the year after, barring him still playing, I would like Pittsburgh. I think Crosby being on the ice.
Oh, for that,
when they raise Chara's number is just so.
No, for Bergeron, Pittsburgh. Bergeron, I'd want Pittsburgh because Crosby's on the ice. Bergeron owned Pittsburgh every single playoff series they played in, and Crosby always says the best centerman to ever play the game is Patrice Bergeron. So I'd love to see that. But Montreal would be a good one too because he hates the Habs. But or Toronto, just slay
Toronto.
the dragon.
When they retire Jake DeBrusk's number, that's when they'll do Toronto. Yeah. He'll go on the ice like, I fucking own Toronto. I fucking own it.
Yeah.
Liv, I got one question about I wish I asked you the last time because we didn't know that he was going to be retiring. Would you entertain Pat Maroon coming to the organization?
Absolutely. I don't even have to think about it. Yeah. Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
I don't know what he would do, but like I said, when he was here for the 2 months, 3 months, or whatever, it seemed like he wanted to stay here and really like get his feet in the ground into the hockey industry. And I just want to circle back on how you felt about that.
I don't know why. I just like love the man. Like I really do. I just think he's great in all the right places, if that makes sense. And I feel like people could argue like, oh, he's been a part of so many teams. Like, what does that mean? It means everyone wants him. Duh.
It's because everyone loves him.
Yeah, like everyone wants a little dabble of that, a little sprinkle in the locker room. Like, who wouldn't?
Pasternak said it too. Maroon.
Maroon.
Pasternak said it too. He was like, dude, like you could tell why like this guy's won 3 Stanley Cups. Like it took like 2 to 3 days, and I was like, oh man, this guy's a winner and he's gonna help us. But fortunately, it didn't work out like that. But
I still can't believe the 180 I've done on Pat Maroon.
So funny.
Really
funny.
I was watching like highlights from the Ducks run from 10 years ago. And like Maroon was on that team. They swept the Jets in the opening round. And I was just like, dude, this guy he's the ultimate, like if you ever like want to take a long flight, like you did like the LA to New York flight or LA to like Boston, that's my dream person where I just look to the side and it's like Pat Maroon. Yeah. And I'm just like, hey buddy, here's the deal. I'll buy the beers. Like, can you just give me the world's greatest spitting chicklets episode?
Yeah.
I'll FaceTime Grinelli. He'll produce it. Like he'll give us all the pointers. You know what I mean? Like, because it's just like I feel like by the time I got off the plane, like my stomach would be like turned inside out from laughing so hard.
Yeah.
Eyes dried up from the times he cried. Like, I love Pat Maroon. I think having someone like that in the organization, especially around playoffs when this younger team starts to get there, I think would be important. Important to like celebrate the little moments too, like. Because I think the last time he was on Chickies, he was unfortunately talking about 2019, but like kind of like telling about the things about hockey that people don't really talk about enough anymore. And it's like this human moments,
Yeah.
like Otter just like bawling his eyes out on the bench because he was so excited for I can't remember who it was. His name's escaping me. I feel so bad, but he grew up outside of Boston. His dad wasn't able to be at the game because he passed away. He scored a goal in Game 7. And he was like, just as that team. Louis? Yeah, I can't remember if it wasn't Perron. It was
I'll look it up.
I can't remember, but
not Oshie, right?
No, she was in Washington.
Louis, you doofus.
But he's like in that moment, we all forgot we were like in the stand, like we were about to win the cup because we were just so like that just happened, like that doesn't happen. And then it was like, and then like then they dropped the puck and it was like, holy shit, we gotta like we can't give these Bruins like any kind of movement. Like we take the foot off, they can score.
Oh, Zach Sanford.
Yeah. And it was just like hearing a story like that. That's the kind of shit. If you told me that before like a Game 7, I would run through a brick wall.
You're jazzed.
Like you go on the ice, like you're just like enjoy the moment, like in the seconds you got to catch up on it. So. That's why I want someone like that in the organization, just for like sometimes having someone who's just able to stop a young kid, whether that be like Minton in 5 years, Potter in 5 years, or Lorai when you're like, once McAvoy's moved on and stuff, and it's like, yeah, dude, you got this. It's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've got a question. I've got a question for y'all then, because this just made me think of this. This just made me think of this. I'm gonna get my mic up in front of me and everything. All right.
Oh, this is serious.
This is serious. Do you think it's very telling that a lot of winners, especially from the Cup 2011 team, are working management in every organization except for the Boston Bruins? You've got Sean Thornton in Florida. You got Rich Peverly in Dallas. You've got Dan Paille also in Florida. They're all thriving in their roles too. Like Thornton apparently is looking to make the jump to become a GM soon. Do you think it has anything to do with the fact that everyone fucking hates Don Sweeney? Other than the Chara Bergeron, the guys who were, legends for this organization that can tell Don, like, hey, pipe down, Harvard boy. I don't fucking need to listen to you talk right now. But, like, you look at all these people that have gone on and done successful things in organizations and very well, and you're just like, so we're the organization that brings back all the recycled players, and McQuaid's the best we got right now. And like Chara obviously joining the organization, Tuukka being a handshake guy, whatever, right? But you've got these guys in management positions thriving with other organizations, especially Peverly in Dallas really annoys me because, like, bro, look at their organization and how much depth they have and the young talent they have. And,
I didn't even know Peverly was in Dallas.
Yeah,
that's where
we got him from.
Don Sweeney got his start.
Oh! I thought you said he was coaching there.
No, front office.
Oh.
All these guys are front office guys.
Yeah,
but like
Peverly's in front office right now. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, in Dallas.
Yeah, he's like one of the most sought after guys.
Yeah. He's
probably
one of the everyone's
decade's end.
Yeah, literally, he's like the new Alex Steen or Jason Spezza, that player protege GM material. But it's just kind of very eye opening to me that like a lot of these 2011 guys are like, not Boston. I'm going to go back to where I was before Boston and help them out. And it just kind of annoys me a little bit because it makes me personally feel like
maybe they do it as there's no chance for them to what the hell's that grow within the
that's what I'm saying. They think they'll get blocked. Also, I just realized in my own talking that all those states are no income tax states, but whatever, we'll forget that part.
Does that really mean something though when it comes to
no, management? I just mean like it'd be nice to sit on a beach in Florida and make 20 grand more than you would in Boston.
No, I don't know if there's a correlation. If anything, especially with the Sean Thornton situation, maybe him sending him to Florida because Sean had aspirations to get into management. Maybe that was the better goal, especially because when he sent him to Florida, I think that was either the year of Chiarelli's last stab or Sweeney's first stab. I can't remember the correlation of that, but like, and that was before Dale Talon and the whole Chicago Blackhawks ordeal. Like before we knew that side of it, but like prior to that, Dale Talon had a very good track record on structured management, structured teams, promoting from within. Like a lot of Jets fans forget Kevin Cheveldayoff was the assistant GM of the Chicago Blackhawks there. They won the cup with the Kyle Beach situation. So like in a way, like he might have sent these guys to places where they're actually set up to have success in that. Where with Boston, you've seen how long they kept Harry Sinden, how long they're going to keep Cam Neely. Maybe it was more. Maybe it was actually more of a like, hey, if you want to do this, here's where you should go to do this. Sorry to. That's kind of long. Like you're not. I know where you're going, but that's kind of
you
the
could be
vibe
right
I'm
though too.
with it. And quickly
Because
connecting.
those-
like I said, Don Sweeney was a scout for the Dallas Stars. That's where you guys start.
And those
After he was like,
those
"Yeah, you're not
teams
playing
were also
anymore, bud."
shit at that time too, right? So that does make sense.
And,
I just wish they hated Don Sweeney.
Started scouting in 97 and they won the cup in 99. I mean, they had to trade Jerome McGillen for that to happen, but that's a good story for another day.
Yeah. Iggy.
Mm.
No, yeah, I was just curious to your guys' thoughts on it because it's
There
been
might be
bugging me
something there,
lately.
but-
It's been bugging me lately. I don't know why.
Question though, but yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see what management looks like in the short term.
That's why I
I
wear
just
the
hope-
pip.
If you want to ride it with Sweeney this last year, fine. But
Yeah.
it just sucks because it's an important draft this year. But next year's free agency, I would say, is more important than this year's because of just the big jump in salary cap. So,
Do you think it also has to do with the fact that the Jacobs don't want to pay Sweeney and not have him work for them?
I've thought about that like all season.
Because
because
if
they're already paying. Well, I guess it's just the rest of this year.
If they're
Monty.
out of the playoffs by like 10 points by Thanksgiving, you got to fire Sweeney, right? Before the trade deadline. Like you got to cut ties immediately and have a backup plan. And that's the thing I'm worried the Jacobs aren't going to have.
Yeah. Well, I don't think they think that far ahead. I think they're just like
They don't, dude. They're
so
so
lo-
hands off. It's so scary.
and
So
they
the
just
thing
like they trust whatever Sweeney says to them.
He's such a lawyer too. After every time I listen to one of his press conferences, I'm like, yeah, he's right, man. He's got me. He knows more than I do, and he just lawyer talks his way through the whole thing.
Yeah. I'm sure the Jacobs have advisors to have mapped that out for them. But I one thing I think folks forget, especially the Don Sweeney conversation and the people who want him to be removed from the front office, I think folks are quick to forget that a GM isn't always based on his resume isn't always based on what he's done with the franchise up until that point, but his resume is more alluded to what he's left behind.
Mm-hmm.
And if Sweeney's well aware that he's the next one to go onto the thin ice, as it were, I wouldn't be worried if 2 months before the trade deadline, 10 points out, if they let him go, he'd probably be expecting it. I imagine he just leaves the keys for Evan Gold. And the same plan he had for the trade deadline, draft, vice versa, et cetera, just goes into place. It's just Evan Gold, not Don Sweeney at the mic.
Well, that's like Washington this year. Like their GM's up for GM of the year. He didn't even make all the moves that they made in the offseason. It was the guy before him. He made all his moves and then he handed the team over to, I forget, Patrick something. And this guy's going to win GM of the year after not making a single move this season, which is crazy.
He made one trade at the trade deadline for a bottom six guy, I think.
Hey, dude, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Like,
no, for real.
They've been bitten enough doubling down. So I'm hoping the Bruins can just learn a thing or two from that organization. Also, it's got to be noted that the Washington Capitals bought cap friendly and have the best team in the NHL this year. There's got to be some sort of correlation to that.
Coincidence. Yeah,
I know. Like these guys are working for their team now, and all of a sudden they just
the Capitals won the President's Trophy. Is that what I just heard?
no. Good for them that they didn't.
Already trying to take it away, huh? Already trying to take it away?
The second I see teams celebrating the President's Trophy, I'm like, oh, they don't
French
know.
for
They don't
President's
know,
Trophy
do they?
winners, baby. No, they don't. They really don't. I've had this.
Oh fuck, that's way worse.
It's already jinxed the Jets. They lost to Ehlers, so
It's gonna be a
Rest-
Bruin July
rest in
1st.
peace.
Not dead, just gonna be a Bruin soon.
All right, I know we probably have to wrap it up soon, but I do want to hear, like, starting with you, Liv, because I'm kind of throwing you under the bus right now. But what's the biggest free agent signing that you think the Bruins might make this offseason?
Can I bring up the list? Can I Google the full list here?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Because I don't even know the list. I just know one guy that.
Nah, we're gonna tell you what to do on your own show.
Yeah.
No list searching here.
Because there's probably only like 3 guys that I know of.
This year's UFA class,
Off
because
the
I'm gonna bring it up myself.
Yeah, off the top
Kinda
of my
weak.
head.
I'm
There's
hoping
like,
I got the right. Oh yeah. Okay, here we go.
It's 2025, right? Yeah.
I mean, we can circle back to you too if you gotta think about it. Because my guy that I think the Bruins are going to get and unfortunately overpay for is Mitch Marner. I'm like so convinced he's going to be a Bruin. I'm just he hates Toronto so much, and I'm just like, I think he stuck it to them when he didn't waive his no trade clause, and he's just like, I'm going to ride it out here. If we win, we win. But I'm having a career year. He's a 100-point player, and he's probably going to fall apart in the playoffs, whatever. But I'm just convinced he's going to be a Bruin. I think the Bruins are going to overpay and make a splash because I think him and Pastrnak are fairly close. Like there's some correlation there, at least, especially with him being Nylander's teammate. But I think Marner is going to be our guy. I think he's going to be playing first or second line. He might have to learn how to play left side, but I don't know.
I wouldn't hate that. Like I honestly, like I wouldn't turn it down.
I think you're going to look at 7 years, 14 mil. They can't fit him under the salary cap and make all that work while also having goaltending and defense. And I just some of the comments he's made this year, I'm just like, he's so ready to be out of Toronto. I think
That I think that situation has to be a dumping situation where Toronto dumps him. Yeah, like I it's a pipe dream. My only sell to him, and if I see him in Toronto this summer, I'm just gonna carry my Barkley jersey around. I'm just gonna go, this is a Saquon Barkley Giants jersey. No one will remember that he played for the Giants when he gets inducted to the Hall of Fame. And then I'm gonna pull out a brand new Bruins, rebrand jersey with Marner on the back. It'll be like, everyone will remember this. God. Hey man, Barkley got tired of losing. He went to the Eagles and he won the Super Bowl in his first year. I don't see why Marner doesn't see the same thing with Boston.
So
This is the
Bruins
thing.
are going to win the Super Bowl next year with Mitch Marner.
Yeah, well, why do you think we're playing Raymond James Stadium, bro?
Personally, I just can't get behind the Marner thing. I want to so bad,
But that's totally
watched him
fair
in London.
too.
I watched him in Toronto.
Okay, pal, relax with the London shit.
I can't.
Listen, I get it's perfectly fair to say like you're not on the.
When did he
Marner
play
train.
in London, Brett?
He won the Memorial Cup with Matthew Tkachuk in London.
Okay,
Oh, so he's gonna be a Panther.
Yeah, pretty much. This is the thing. This free agent class isn't the greatest. If you're gonna go on the fact that, like, all right, we'll just get the middle 6 centers to play top 6, then yeah, pitch Marner, try and go get him. You're gonna have to pay him $14 million a year, which Pastrnak isn't gonna care about because he's not that type of person. You're gonna have to overpay. From everything I've heard, the Bruins are gonna pursue one of the top 3 in Marner, Besser, and Ehlers. If they don't, like, Besser's gone in Vancouver. Wouldn't mind him behind Pastrnak if you don't get a Marner. Maybe 4 years, $8 million, something around there. Would love to see Pionk in a Bruins jersey, but he is probably going to re-sign with Winnipeg. And my one that, like, I kind of would fuck with them trying to get Ekblad. I'm not gonna lie.
Ooh.
For the right price, I would take Aaron Ekblad, and I get it. He's a doper, he's a cheater, all the above, but he's also a Stanley Cup champion.
Yeah, if you're
And
not
he's
cheating,
a
you're not
big
trying.
boy, and he can move the puck.
Yeah.
And you're probably gonna have to overpay him, but it kind of seems like they're gonna go with Jones going forward.
Whoever you get in free agency, you're going to have to overpay. They're looking at the
Yeah.
Jones option because there's a little bit of money retained there as the cheaper Ekblad option. Because I see Ekblad. I mean, he's probably going to try to get anywhere from 10 to 11 million, just because of his resume alone.
Do you entertain?
Which
Sam
I think
Bennett?
no, he hasn't even been good this year. What he's going to
That's good.
probably ask for, but that's what I'm worried about. Sweeney being in front office. Fuck off. There we go. With
There we
Sweeney
go.
Sweeney being in front office, that's what scares the living hell out of me.
That's what I'm saying. Like
Is
the
you're
reason
gonna
why I
get
said
him-
Ekblad is Team Canada. Like I'm looking at Canadians because Sweeney is a trend guy, and he just watched Four Nations. You know, when Hockey East was at his hype, it was draft everybody from Hockey East. Now they're drafting from Europe and Canada. Like, it wouldn't shock me at all if you see Ekblad or Bennett with the Bruins on July 2nd or July 1st.
Can
All
I
right,
say
Bob.
something?
Yeah.
It's like totally off. Like,
Yes.
you guys are probably gonna laugh. / everyone else is gonna laugh, but I would.
Frederick.
Okay, I was jokingly gonna say him, but I'm gonna be realistic here though. Honestly, I would look at bringing back Donato only because
My dad keeps
Ooh.
saying that too.
I think he'd be sneaky good coming back. And like, I don't know where he'd, maybe middle six or whatever you want to say, but I wouldn't hate that. He's 29. I don't think it's gonna break your bank. And he yeah.
But do you think this year's a one-off though? I mean,
The
I
only
could
thing
see
that
him
worries
being a
me,
good.
he's shooting at 22%.
Mm,
That's the only shooting percentage scares me, man. Like so much.
Yeah,
so
no
like
shit. You won't
that's the-
shut up.
that's the only thing.
brought it up, okay.
I see shooting percentages. I like Donato. I it was sad to see him go, but I love Charlie Coyle too, so it was kind of a nice trade-off. But my problem is if he's gonna play the wing on your third or second line, yeah. Especially with this because you can go get a third line winger if it doesn't work out or whatever, right? Like I say the same thing with Lysell. Like he should be in your middle six next year. If it doesn't work out, you can always go get a middle six winger at the trade deadline. It's not that hard.
Yeah.
But with Donato, it's just like you do need left-handed shot players, and if he's gonna play the wing on like a Zaka Lysell line, yeah, I fuck with that. I could get down with that, especially because if he has a similar type of season he's unlocked his, because that's the thing, he's scoring goals by driving the net, and that's the thing that Boston eagerly is missed since Bertuzzi, Foligno, Hall, players like that, Frederick to a point, right? So that's where I'd be into that. Because but that's where I'd be into it, right? Because like you need players that go to the net, and we have a lot of perimeter players right now.
Yeah.
So I fucked that. Chris Nosek said Dante Fabro. I've been saying this all season. Don't be shocked to see Dante Fabro. Him and McAvoy are really good friends and played together at BU. And the Bruins had the choice between Fabro and McAvoy when they picked McAvoy at 15. So that one wouldn't shock me either. But
I do think too, it's like I'm torn between whether I want them to focus on D or on forwards. Like I feel like we need more like security in both like so badly, but it's like which one are you going to go after first? Like which one do you want to like settle down?
yeah, because if you're not re-signing Yoki Haru, you gotta go get a right-handed shot defenseman. Because right now you're let's say McAvoy, Lohrei, Lindholm, Peak, Zadorov, question mark.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, and Peak being in your top 4. Yikes, brother.
Yeah.
Like him as a dude, and I think he plays a great 6D game, but This is the thing with the season that people aren't talking about. You've seen what happens when you take players out of their role. Like Lorai playing top minutes isn't, he's not ready yet. Peak playing top 4 minutes. That's why he's a bottom 6 guy.
It was nice seeing him get the minutes, but
his season was going so well, and then McAvoy got injured, and it just fell off a cliff.
In the matchups, it just shit.
It's not fair, right? So it's tough to comment on that part of it, but yeah, you got to go get a right-handed D and a top 6 scorer are my 2 wish lists. My 2 wish lists for this off season.
Yeah.
And don't just go get guys to get guys. Like if you're gonna bring in a guy like Anthony Mantha because he plays both sides of the wing, he's a big boy, in and out of the lineup, whatever. But 1-year deal, dude. Like you're not in the position to be handed out lengthy contracts like you did last off season.
I think you can sign one if you're gonna go for one of the big guys, but
yeah,
I think you really have to put your money into the following.
You don't need Bacchus 2.0 is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You don't need to go down that road.
One player I've been kind of chopping at the ankles with is Jack Roslovic of the Carolina Hurricanes. Who finally had a breakout year. I've been chomping at this since like 2020 when it was very clear that the Jets were going to move on from him.
Yeah.
I was totally in the boat where I was like, I would throw in like a 2nd round pick for that kid.
Yeah.
He ended up being part of the Line A deal that obviously, and then he ended up in New York anyways, but that's a kid. I think if you're talking about a potential top 6 winner, I mean, look at what happened with Geeky. We never thought that would happen. We thought, me and Brett, when we signed him, I thought 3rd line was the ceiling. He'd be a replacement for Taylor Hall. And now he's making hockey fun for Pasta again.
Yeah.
I think Roslovic brings a lot of grit. He's great on the forecheck, and he's a nasty player in the corners. You get a chance to watch him. That guy, if it was old school hockey, he's kind of dude where he cuts out a part of his glove, and when he gets you in a corner, he probably knocks you out and skates away. Like, he's one of those dudes.
And the most hilarious.
Also, never heard anything bad about him when he played Winnipeg. Servers loved him. Boyfriends were terrified of him.
The most hilarious thing about him too is he got a Rolex for giving Rantanen his number and then got it back 4 games later and got a free Rolex because
was it
Rantanen
him?
That's he took 96 from him, gave
That's
him a
great.
Rolex, and then he was like, "All right, peace." And Roslovic the next day at practice is wearing 96 again. Love it.
That's
The
actually
ultimate.
I think so, Gail. I don't want to be mean, but I do think there's a correlation.
Gale, greatest player to ever play the game, but 20% shooting is crazy.
And by the way, he got a Rolex, and I lost $50 because I went and watched them play, and like I ended up going like, "Wow, Taylor Hall, Orlov, and Roslovic is still so sick." That dude from Colorado was kind of a letdown, though.
forgot that Orlov and Hall are back together in Carolina.
Yeah,
Jesus, I
they're
forgot
actually
about
trying.
Orlov.
Okay,
Holy hell!
real quick, last second.
Gail hates me.
I don't know what Gail's saying, dude, to you or me, but last second,
Probably me.
Canadians and Hurricanes are tied at 1 with 4 minutes left in the second.
Yep.
And Taylor Hall scored the goal. If the Carolina Hurricanes win in regulation, Montreal has the chance to miss the playoffs and Columbus win. I want that to happen so bad. That
It would be
Columbus game
such a
tomorrow
choke
would be must watch hockey tomorrow. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I just had to say that because we were talking about Hall
They talk
and it was on in the background. And I was
so
like,
much
dude, I
shit
can't
in the
believe
last few years.
he loved scoring against Montreal. So it doesn't that's par for the course. So I love that he was the guy. It tied the game. And Kokaniemi assisted it enough to put more flame on the fire.
First line center tonight.
Yeah, I saw that. But yeah, anyways, I really hope Montreal loses out and Columbus makes it because Johnny Hockey and fuck Montreal.
Yeah.
Make for a better story.
Oh yeah.
Even though Montreal is fun to watch this year, but
If I could take any player from their team right now, it'd be Adam Fantilli. That kid is such a fucking gamer. Oh my god.
he really improved. Yeah.
He's
really
put the
improved
team
this
on his
year.
back.
Yeah.
I would just
Grew
love
up
it
a
for
Bruins
that
fan,
city
too.
and that fan base too. To go through all that and then to get in would just be sick. And
Columbus is
I
one of
don't
those
know.
teams, if they're good, I think it's fun.
yeah,
You
Yeah.
We
guys,
saw that in 2019. It was awesome. Just lit.
Yeah.
Did something just happen?
Montreal just scored though. Yeah.
God
Ah.
damn it! I'm on.
Suzuki just
You're a
absolutely highlight
goddamn
reel.
mush.
I'm on tape delay,
Yeah.
guys. Alright? I'm on tape delay. I'm okay.
As I was saying that, he just like teed up, and I was like, oh boy.
that Sally was like pretty good too, actually.
Yeah, he knows. They want it just as bad
Yeah.
as we do. So
Suzuki, born in London, Ontario. Drink.
Wow.
yet his uncle has yet to save the world. So
Hey, hey, leave them alone.
we just sent Katy Perry to space for 9 minutes, dude.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
More pollution than Taylor Swift caused in the entire Eras tour in one shot, dude.
Oh please. Oh my god.
Real question
hey,
we
you know.
have: should they win the Hart Trophy? Oh
Are you asking that?
no, I was making a
should win the
joke
Hart
like that.
Trophy?
No one knows who's gonna
Oh.
win the Hart this year. Give it to
Kucherov.
Katy Perry. Give it to Katy Perry. She
Kucher's
lives her
gonna win
life.
it, dude. It's one trophy he hasn't won yet.
Cooch, yeah, they'll never give it to.
And then when they win the cup, or no, they're gonna give it.
You
to
know who
Hellebuyck,
should be
and
the
when
MVP? Pasternak.
Dude,
Just say that.
seriously.
Do you think he's gonna win the award with the players vote on? Best player of the league? I forget which one
that's
is.
the only one I
Lindsay?
can see him winning.
Is that the
Ted
Ted
Lindsay?
Lindsay?
Ted
Yeah.
Lindsay, yeah.
I think there's a real possibility. They're like,
Good.
how did Pasternak do that? Like, if I was in the league, I'd 100%
Yeah.
be voting him for. The
Yeah, I
vote.
mean, he's tied with Draisaitl right now, who's been on a playoff team and played alongside McDavid at times. It's impressive what he's done.
Yeah.
But yeah, Gail, we talked geeky to
Yeah.
think
start.
Beginning, yeah, right.
Yeah, we was talking about it at the start. Yeah.
I hope I'm okay with being wrong about Geeky, by the way.
So am I.
That
Dude,
Case Dale was emphasizing.
everyone,
I mean, like, dude, we were mean to him, and he scored, and it motivated him to score 30. I'm not jumping off that wagon, bro.
I'm a stupid
That
fan.
fireworks.
Like
That
what?
fireworks, baby.
This-
I'll keep lighting it.
This is the
I'll
thing.
go to Bath
like,
and Body Works. I'll buy new candle scents. Keep that fire lit.
I'm
Okay.
glad. I'm glad he turned his season around. I'm glad he used everybody's, everybody harping on him as fuel. But like, I'm a fucking fan, bro. Like, this is what I do. This is why I love the game. Like, when Boosie texted me, he's like, "Geeky just tweeted at you, dude." I was like, "No way!" Like, not at one point was I upset. Did it hurt my feelings?
Yeah.
And you know what? He shoved it up my hoop like the next game and just kept going on and on and on and kept scoring. And nah, I'm his biggest fan, dude. I can't wait to buy his jersey when he gets extended because I have a
That's
jersey
not the
thing
story
where
you told us, bro.
when I buy jerseys of players that are on this team, I don't have a single player that has stayed on the roster. So I will not buy players' jerseys anymore. Sagan, Krug, Lucic, Marchand. I'm
Same.
not doing it. I'm not doing it anymore. Yeah, you feel me, Liv. You feel me. I'm getting blank jerseys from now on. I'm not doing it anymore. But
Just
Geeky,
wear
I
around.
will do it. Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna wear around my Trent ones until he comes back. No.
Yeah. No, but it's all in good fun, and I'm glad he's playing better, honestly. Good for him.
Yeah.
I do
Because
have. Oh, sorry.
People forget about the 2 points in 23 games real quick.
I got one final question that I feel like I've been asking people now just because we're getting to the playoffs.
Mhm.
Just on pure gut, who do you think's getting the cup? I know it means nothing to even guess because I mean you don't know what's gonna unravel, but like just instinct, who do you think?
Ottawa Senators.
Oh,
Really?
that would be awesome.
Linus Ullmark is going to go sicko mode. He's going to shut down Toronto, play Florida in the second round, get over that hump, and then who do you got to play? Let me look. Who do you got to? Carolina or Montreal or Washington? Yeah, well, that's fine. Linus Ullmark's got that. You got the Kachuk factor. The young kids are scoring. They've got good enough defense to get them through it. Everyone in the West is going to be beat up. I think Ottawa's going to shock everybody this year and go to the Cup Finals, and I hope they win it.
I wouldn't hate it. I wouldn't hate
Yeah.
it.
That would be fun. That would be so much fun to watch. Just because you know how Brady is, then you got Allmark.
Psycho.
Yeah,
Bring him to Boston. No.
I've
Plus,
been.
They have playoff players. They got Perron, hate him. They got Cousins, hate him. Those guys
Yeah.
are great in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I get torn between Dallas and Florida, but
Oh, Dallas.
Dallas is a good pick.
Dallas
I like that.
is
Sags is coming
loaded.
back.
I know that's the thing. That's why I want to pick Dallas.
Third line
but
center.
I want to say Florida though, because they're gonna have Kachuk coming back. They're gonna be healthier. Just we've seen what they can do. Marchand, I mean, he looks like he's certainly lost a step, but playoff Marchand as a depth piece right there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd have to pick Florida, mostly because I want that first round pick too. But
yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, if they don't win 2 rounds, oh my god.
I know. Then you look like a real idiot. But
Yeah.
who do you have, Baba?
Florida just traded for Marchand. Like it wasn't your fucking option or not to have anything to do.
Yeah, what
with
a
that.
dumb thing.
Like
to
what
say.
a wild thing to say.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna preference this with I'm not getting my stick taps enough, and I understand a lot of people resent me.
Okay, here we go.
I've been right about a lot of things this season.
Oof.
I did say the Battle of Alberta and Battle of Florida would happen.
You
I
mean
did
Battle of
say St.
Ontario?
Louis. Sorry, yeah. What did I say?
Battle of Alberta.
Alberta, yeah. Whoops. Sorry, Calgary. I did say that St. Louis would make it into the playoffs and they're going to make some noise. So here's my Stanley Cup final
must be nice to
prediction.
be right about stuff, dude.
Here's my Stanley Cup final prediction, and it's not going to be nice.
Okay.
The Blues are going to be the real deal. The Blues are going to uppercut everyone in the West, catch everyone off guard, and they're going to spoil the feel-good, happy time story in Canada. The Blues are going to defeat the Montreal Canadiens in the Stanley Cup final.
I want you to renounce your Winnipeg fandom right now.
Wow.
No one picked the Jets, huh?
Dude, I think the Jets are gonna stomp St. Louis in the first round.
It's just so many Jets fans have been arrogant about the Blues to me, where I'm just like, I don't know.
You're
dude.
like, you guys don't know, eh?
Yeah, and like the fact of Bennington lifting the cup at the Bell Center after losing in the Four Nations there, and everyone in America making it their personality would be so funny.
Well, you think Montreal's getting to the finals? You gotta unpack that part. What the hell?
Their top 6 is fucked. No one knows how do you plan?
He's blinded by the Davidoff hype.
They are one of those
swarm of
teams.
bees. How do you plan for a swarm of bees? You don't.
Chemicals.
Like literally,
Chemicals.
they just throw the puck out there, and these guys they don't even have place. They just skate around you, and they're like, "Oh, I scored!" That's pretty crazy.
I don't even
And
know
like,
you anymore,
the
dog.
Bell Center third round when they get Toronto, or when they get Toronto in the second round, like it's just gonna be fucking electric. And Montebo, the legend of Montebo, like piecing it together finally. Like, is he actually the guy? Was that the right move? And then they get St. Louis, and they get Monty, and they get Colton Barinko and Robert Thomas, and they get fucking, Jordan Bennington. And I'm getting so excited thinking about it. Like, Kyrou and Jake Neighbors in the cup final would be fucking sick, dude.
Well, the fact that we're talking about playoffs right now, quick, I saw a tweet that was like, oh, the Battle of Ontario can start Sunday. And I looked at my calendar and I was like, what the hell? We get playoffs this week? Like, that's...
I wouldn't hate it.
I
wouldn't hate it. I wouldn't hate it.
Pick a side, Baba.
Yeah, dude. No, you just outed yourself on live TV, brother.
TV.
My heart wants to say the Jets, but everything I've seen, everything I've analyzed, I think St. Louis is going to clean house. I don't really know if they make it to Game 7.
Hot take. Canada wins the cup this year. For sure.
Shut up, Brett.
Liv,
who do you have?
Fuck out of here.
Yeah.
I am their new biggest fan, so I'm going to just stay healthy. Let's take it back here. You know what?
Loyal to the oil, baby.
She had her ready to go.
I'm going out tonight. Hey, back to the
Hey, La Bamba, Get it.
True.
Plus, Leon Draisaitl's hot as
love
shit
it.
too. Come on,
I would
Leon
love it.
Draisaitl is hot. We gotta
Florida, Edmonton, Cup final, game 1, Trent Frederick absolutely decks Marchand, takes him out of the series, and then goes, I thought that was okay. You told me that was okay. It's part of the game.
I would be
Hey,
Might
6'3".
fix his nose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
You want to go someone 6'3", you go me.
yeah.
That's all I picture right now.
Yeah.
But honestly, with Edmonton, Florida, I think they're playing a little bit of possum right now. I think they're not showing their cards, and I think they're gonna. The team that plays both those teams in the first round are gonna be like, "Oh, this is gonna be a cakewalk," and they're gonna get stomped.
You say that about Edmonton, but they've been showing their cards all season with shitty goaltending. So
Yeah, that
Same
is.
If
thing
you
last
can,
year,
hey, as Mr. Don
Same thing
Sweeney
with Grant
says,
Fuhrer.
as Mr. Don Sweeney says, if you can outscore your mistakes in the NHL, you'll be fine.
Oh,
You'll
How's
be
that worked
fine. Tell McDavo that.
Playoffs should be. I mean, I know Bruins aren't in it, but I'm still like
what?
wicked pumped.
I-
Spoiler alert!
I thought this is why we're here.
I'm actually so excited to watch playoffs and like not
Yeah.
have a stake in the game.
Oh
for
my
a
God, I
while.
know.
Oh my
I
god!
can
Like
just enjoy
I
hockey.
don't have it in me.
just watch good
Yeah.
hockey.
Yeah.
I keep telling myself that, like, oh, I'm just gonna sit back and no,
I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna
get-
get so invested.
gonna get
Like I'm invested in Linus Allmark. I'm invested in.
Oh, yeah,
Carlo.
dude,
I'm
it's gonna
really
take-
invested in the 10-year-old is gonna come out of me for the Oilers. Like
Allmark's playing against Carlo. I just realized
Yeah.
that.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
my Shayla.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I keep telling people like, oh, it'll be fun, it'll be cool to see the Jets go on a run, but then like game 1's gonna hit and then that's it, and I'm gonna start seeing. Like I told every Jets fan, I was like, get prepared.
Oh, I
I'm
can't
on
wait
your
to.
side now. Get prepared. I'm gonna say some shit that's gonna have you going to your therapist. Like he said this to someone at a bar. No shame.
Dude,
Like-
I'm dusting off my Ottawa Eric Carlson and Mark Stone jerseys tonight, and I will be
Considering
wearing
how you're
them
always
around.
injured, that checks out that you have those.
Yeah. It's my LTIR closet, dude. It's my LTIR closet.
Damn.
Yeah. My Ottawa hat, I'm wearing it right now. I'm fully invested, but had to wear it one last time. I actually wore this for the 3 games we won in the last 20. Every single time they won a game, so I started taking it off. I was like, no, we can't.
Yeah,
Okay,
you
we
don't
need
want
the
the
that.
tank, baby.
We need
For
the
the tank.
pick. Yeah. Reverse jinxing us somehow. Oh fuck.
Well, kiddos, I think that's been long enough, right?
I feel bad. I took up like longer than usual for you guys, so I appreciate you hanging on here. And
Oh no, this was a
I feel
blast.
bad because I feel like you were prepared for an hour, and then I like look at the timestamp. It's like an hour 30.
No,
I'm like, holy
like-
shit!
this is wonderful. I love talking hockey with people that like actually know what the heck they're talking about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not trying
feel
to.
that.
Yeah, St. Louis and Montreal final makes that a little bit sus, but yeah. 2 wild card teams, but yeah,
But-
very sus.
Yeah,
One not even clinched yet. So
You didn't
Oh my
have to
God.
bring it up again, Bobby. We were gonna forget about it for you.
I'm gonna let you slide. Give you a pass.
the last time I said Montreal would get to the finals, they lost in the first round. So.
I thought you were gonna say it was the bubble.
You're
I was gonna be like,
welcome. You're welcome,
Jesus, here we
Canada.
go.
I mean, I'm all for Montreal being in the playoffs. I just can never see them win a Stanley Cup during my lifetime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Well, thanks again for having us on, Liv. This was
Yeah,
awesome.
Thank you so much, Liv.
yeah, this
Yeah.
was a
Rockstar.
blast.
Whenever you want.
You guys come back for playoff. talk.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. come
Yeah,
back.
but
It'd
it's
be a lot
only
of
fair
fun.
you come on OB and
Yeah.
shit talk with us. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think that'd be like my peak moment. I'd be like, I made it if I'm on there. If they had me on that, I'm like,
No.
awesome.
Nah,
Yeah.
we're fucking losers. Nah, it's all good.
You'd be like
Yeah.
Marchand on the Panthers. He finally made it. Eh? Holy shit,
Yeah.
the team wanted me.
Everyone's like,
Yeah.
I should but no, yeah, seriously. So thank you guys for coming on. I really do appreciate you guys and what you do with your podcast and online and all that.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it was
course.
awesome when you reached out. I was like, hell yeah, let's do
Been
this.
waiting for the goddamn call.
Yeah,
Only took
been waiting
84 years.
this whole
Jeez.
time. I thought me and Boosie just thought you hated us and you
Yeah.
like Bobby more, but whatever.
I mean, which is fair.
Yeah, how it goes.
Yeah, a lot of people hate us and
Oh.
like Bobby more, so I wouldn't be shocked. But no, honestly though, Liv, all jokes aside, this was awesome. Glad we could come on here and chop it up. And it's been a shitty season, but I think we're gonna be all right.
Yeah,
I think we'll be
Yeah.
okay.
we got some
I think
stuff
we'll
to
be
look
okay.
forward to, and we'll
Yeah.
eventually be back and better than ever.
We got the
Oh,
lottery
yeah.
to look forward to.
Yeah,
Whoop
right.
de do. Whoop de do.
Woo!
Big
Second
off.
overall pit.
That's our Stanley Cup.
Yeah, right. Seriously.
Literally.
Yeah.
Alrighty, well, I'll wrap. Well, I'll let you guys. You can plug your stuff one more time before if you want to just shout out your accounts one more time.
Brett, it's your time to shine.
Yeah, you can find me at jeez, that was my old Twitter. You can find me at Brett Howard _. I'm 1/3 of the Only Bruins podcast, which you can see in the other twos that you can find at Only Bruins Pod. We do a podcast drop every Friday. It's a lot of fun. It's not your normal beat writer style podcast. We like to let loose and have some after dark moments, even though they happen during the podcast. Mistakes stay in the pod. So yeah, like I said, thanks again, Liv. This was awesome.
Of course.
Can't wait to come back on and have you on OB, but I'll let the other boys, I'll let the living legend and Poithead tell you where you can find them.
Pointhead. Yeah, follow me at Downtown Boosie too if you want to see my coffee poster dick jokes or shit on Smith B. Kevin. Fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's it. And follow at Only Bruins Pod if you want some. If you need your Bruins fix on a Friday morning on your commute to work. We drop every Friday, like Brett said. And Liv, thanks again for having us on. Been waiting for the call. Excited that it's perfect timing. I feel like this was perfect timing to have the OB gang on after
I agree.
the end of the season to wrap it up.
It's gonna help us be a lot looser tomorrow on our pod, honestly.
Yeah, I know.
This was a nice little we can all exhale together. Have a
I'm
little
not as
therapy
stressed
session.
anymore. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh shit. So as you can see there, it's Bobby. You can find me at Bobby Brewski. That's on Twitter, Instagram. That's it. Don't add me on Snapchat. Some people have. That's fucking weird. Please don't. Yeah, you can find me on there. I'm with Only Bruins, and if you ever need advice, just remember, you got to be from the street to be able to walk across the street. That's how it is. And this year, we all came from the streets.
Yeah.
We are the streets.
Beautiful send off.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Chirping on Causeway. We're the streets.
Right.
Hurting for a chirping, baby.
Yeah. You.
Thank you for having us on.
Of course. Thank you guys for coming again. You can find the podcast Twitter at Causeway Chirps. On Instagram, it's Chirping on Causeway. You can find Boston Sports Entertainment Network on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and we're now on Spotify and Apple Music, so you can listen to all of our podcasts on a commute to work as well if you missed it and you wanted to listen after. So BSEN _617. And then as always, my personal Twitter is Front Frederick. And thanks for hopping on, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
What happens after a Boston Bruin win as Jeremy Swayman and Lena Zolmark have their trademark celebration.